going to start our next topic in the same lesson, birds, that will be beaks. In the previous topic of this lesson, we learned about the different types of feathers the birds are having. Today we'll look under different kind of beaks the birds are having. Now, what is a beak? Beak is nothing but the mouth of a bird. Okay, in animals are having mouth, lips, etc. But instead of that, birds are having beaks. So today we'll look into different types of beaks. There are 6 different types of beaks that we'll look into today. Now, birds do not have teeth. In the lesson, in animal lesson, we have learned about 2 to 3 different kinds of teeth. Or about how carnivorous animals are having teeth, what kind of teeth they are having, what kind of teeth omnivorous, and what kind of teeth herbivorous animals are having. All the 3 types of animals are having 3 different types of teeth. Like that also, but here birds do not have teeth. Then how do they eat their food? How do they cut their food? Because they cannot swallow. Nigalna. Swallow means nigalna. Birds do not eat their food directly. They do not swallow. उनको भी food, if you are giving, suppose if you are keeping a piece of bread in front of a bird, it cannot swallow the whole piece. That what does the bird do? Bird will break that bread pieces into small pieces, and then it will eat it. How do they do that without having teeth? That will look today. So birds do not have teeth. So how do they eat their food? Birds eat food with the help of their beaks. Birds eat food with the help of their beaks. Different birds have different kind of beaks. There are different types of birds. Some birds are very big, some birds are very small, some birds are some birds fly very high in the sky, some birds don't fly. So different birds have different kind of teeth. Like we already learned in animals also, different kind of animals were having different kind of teeth. Same for birds also. The type of beaks in birds depend upon the type of food they eat. Same thing we learned in animals also. If the animals are eating plants, their teeth are different. If the animals are eating only flesh, their teeth are different. If the animals are eating both, their teeth are different. Similarly, for birds also, the type of food the birds eat depends upon the type of beak they are having. Okay, let's start. First type. I'll read one paragraph of each, then we'll draw the diagram and list out the basic points. Listen carefully. Birds such as sparrows, pigeons, and peacocks. See carefully. Birds such as sparrows, pigeons, and peacock eat nuts, grains, and seeds. Nuts, grains, and seeds are very tiny bits. Okay? They have short, strong, and pointed beak. So, what kind of beak is our first type? We'll write here. First type, short, pointed, short, strong, and pointed it was. We can write like that also. Short, pointed, and strong. This is nothing but strong beak. Okay? So, how is this beak? We'll look into a small diagram. It will be very sharp, very short. It will be pointed, short हो गया. It will be pointed and it will be very strong. The whole body I'm not drawing, I'm just drawing like this. So the beak will be short, it will be pointed, and it will be very strong. So which birds are having this kind of teeth? Example of birds having this kind of teeth is peacock. You can observe the pictures of these animals, okay? If possible, after the video, I'll show in the reader also the photos. Peacock, sparrows, pigeons. Their beak are very short. It will be pointed and it will be very strong. Okay, so what kind of food do they eat? If I'm writing for food, okay, just for understanding. They eat very tiny things like grains of rice or wheat, seeds, nuts, seeds, grains. Okay. Now, they have short, strong and pointed beak that help them to crack open their food. Now, sorry, why they are having this kind of, now see here, nuts usually come inside a cord. For example, groundnut is there, मूंगफली, it will have some structure like this. इसको तोड़ने से अंदर से we'll get the seed, जो फली रहती है वो तोड़ने के, इसको तोड़ने के बाद we'll get a seed from that. So how these birds will break it? With the help of their beak. Okay, now seeds, grains will come under the same thing. So I'll write one more point. Helps crack open their food. What helps crack open their food? This kind of beak. Because we are learning about beaks, I will not mention it every time. Make a habit of writing bullet points. Okay, now next. Next we'll go to a second type. Okay, come on. Listen carefully. A parrot has a short and curved beak that helps it to crack open nuts and eat fruits. Now here he is giving an example of a parrot and how its beak is, what kind of beak it is having. It is having short and curved beak. So we will write down. The beak is short and curved. What kind of bird is having this? The example of the bird is a parrot. Now, how is the beak? I'll draw the type of beak it is having. It will have like this. It will be very short only, curved. Then from down also it will be curved. Like this. Okay, this is the kind of teeth a parrot is having. It will be very short. This is also short, this is also short, but this beak will be curved from up also, curved from down also. Okay, short and curved beak. Which kind of bird is having? Example is parrot. What does it helps in? It helps to crack open nuts and eat fruits. So here we wrote food. So here also food will be nuts and fruits. Okay. So again, it helps in or helps to open nuts and eat fruit. Over. Next, we'll go to third type of beak. Okay. Type 3. I need more space, so I'll just erase this lesson name. Come on. Third type. Now, birds such as kites. Kite is a name of a bird. Birds such as kites, eagle, owl, vultures eat the flesh of small birds and animals. See here, these birds, these two birds that we learned, they were plant eating. They were eating grains, seeds, nuts, fruit, all plant. Now the third type of bird is eating the flesh of other small animals or other small birds. They have sharp, strong and hooked beak. What kind of beak it is? Strong, sharp and hooked. So first we'll write the point. Strong, sharp and hooked. Now what is this hooked? We'll see. Next point, that helps them to tear the flesh. These birds are called birds of prey. First we'll look, first we wrote what kind of bird it is, what kind of beak it is, strong, sharp and hooked beak. Now let's write an example next. Example will be like eagles and owl. Eagle, owl. Okay. What kind of food do they eat? They eat flesh of small, not big, small birds and animals. In animals, it will be like rat or snakes or squirrels, like that. Now, what does it helps in? It helps them to tear the flesh. This beaks help them to tear the flesh. Okay. Now I'll draw the beak. How it is? It is sharp, pointed and hooked. अब ये hooked क्या रहता? This is the face of the. It will go straight like hook. What is a hook? Hook will be like this, no? A screwdriver type. A hook will be like this, which we use for catching the fishes also. So the this beak will be also hooked. It will go straight. It will be long also a little bit. And it will be like a hook, like this. Okay, then here it will close. Fine. See the difference. This is curved. ये hook है. It will be completely circle type. And here in this beak, the upper part and the lower part both are curved. But for this eagle's beak, it will be only the upper part will be hooked, not the lower part. Something like this. Fine. This is strong. It will be very strong because those birds are also very big and they are flesh eating, and obviously they have to be very strong. Sharp so that they can cut or tear the flesh. It should be very sharp. And hooked. It is hooked so that they can tear the flesh or so that they can hold the animal in their mouth. Okay. Next we'll go for the fourth type. And these birds who eat the flesh of other animals, and the birds who eat the flesh of other animals, and the birds who are having hooked beak like eagle and owl, these birds are called birds of prey because they eat other birds. They are called birds of prey. Prey means if one bird is hunting another, for example, see eagle is hunting a mouse. Eagle एक mouse को kill करके खा रही. So here eagle जो hunt करता, जो मारता दूसरे animal को, that will be called as predator. और जो मरता, जिसको ऊपर हमला होता, जो हंटेड होता, जो मर जाता, जिसको किल कर दे, they will be called as prey. Fine. Prey, P-R-E-Y, prey. Same like that, tiger है. Tiger will kill two deer. Here tiger will be called as predator. और जो मरता, जिस पे हमला होता, that animal will be called as prey. Fine. Predator and prey, ये two words है which is not there, but I have to explain you for better understanding. Fine. जो kill करता, जो hunt करता, जो मारता, it will be predator. और जिस पे हमला होता, which animal is getting killed, that will be called as prey. P-R-E-Y, prey, not P-R-A-Y, prey. So next type, fourth one. Some birds like sunbird and hummingbirds drink nectar from the flower. We have learnt about insects. Insects like birds drink and take sucks the nectar of the flowers. How we learned that? How are they sucking that nectar? With the help of small tiny tube like needle like structure in their body. So these birds which are drinking the nectar from the flower, their beak is also similar kind of like a straw. See here, some birds like sunbirds and hummingbirds drink nectar from flowers. They have long, thin and pointed beak to suck the nectar, something like a straw. So fourth type is long, thin and pointed, right? Yeah, pointed beak. Long, thin and pointed beak. Which kind of birds are having this? Example of a bird is hummingbird. Hummingbird. Okay. Why they are having like that kind of a beak? What kind of food did we already studied in the introduction only? The beak of a birds depend on the kind of food they eat. That's why I'm writing this. So what kind of food do they eat? They eat the nectar, or they drink the nectar of flowers. So that is why they are having a beak that looks similar to a straw. Then third point is helps. We were writing what does it helps in or function. So we'll just write sucks the nectar. Fine. Helps to suck nectar. Nectar is a juice that is present in a flower. So we'll draw the beak. It is very long, very thin, it will be like a straw, very thin and it will be pointed. Okay. So like this, very long, very thin and it will be pointed. The bird will inject its beak. This is like an injection needle will inject inside the body, like that only the bird will inject its beak in the flower and it will suck the nectar. It will be long, thin and pointed. Example of the bird is hummingbird or sunbirds. Now next we will go to the fifth type. We are having lack of space now. Okay. Fifth type. Birds such as woodpecker eat small insects. They have strong pointed beak that help them to make holes in the trunk of a tree and pull out insects. Here, listen carefully. We are talking about which bird here? Bird example is woodpecker. So I'll write first that because of some reason. Example is, oh shit, what did I just say? Woodpecker, sorry. Woodpecker is the example we are going to look into. Okay, birds such as woodpecker eat small insects. Okay, what does it eat? What is the food they are eating? Small insects. Okay. What is that? How is the beak? What kind of beak it is? It is strong, pointed, and pointed beak. So this is our fifth type. Strong. This is the type is strong, pointed. Only two characteristics. I'll write down. This is fifth type. Fine. Here you see why I stopped for a while. First kind of beak is strong and pointed. It is short. Here it is strong and pointed, but it is not too long, it is not too short also. Why? Here that woodpecker is eating insect, small insect. It is similar to small seeds and grains. But why it is having strong and pointed? Because woodpecker, with the name only, where does the woodpecker live? Woodpecker lives in a trunk of a tree. A trunk of a tree will be there. In that the woodpecker will make a hole and it will live over there. So how does that woodpecker make a hole? With a beak. Uske beak se, with beak the woodpecker will continuously beat into the trunk ट्रंक, ट्री का जो ट्रंक जो स्टेम रहता है उस पर बार बार मार के इट विल मेक अ स्मॉल होल फॉर इंसेक्ट. अब वो बीक में सॉरी वो ट्रंक में होल बनाना, it is not an easy task to make a hole in such a strong trunk. It needs a strong beak. So that is why that bird is having that kind of a beak. So it is similar only. Similar little bit to the first one, but it is little bit bigger. Strong and pointed to continuously break into the trunk of a tree to make its home. So we learned the example, woodpecker is there, what kind of food it eats small insects is there, what kind of beak it is having, strong and pointed beak also we wrote, to make holes in the trunk of a tree and pull out insects. So it helps. What does the beak helps in? The beak helps in make holes in the trunk of tree. Why does it make holes in trunk of a tree? To live there, to make its nest and to pull out insects. These insects can be pulled out from the ground, from any plant, from any branch, etc. Fine. Now last, sixth type. I don't have place to show the sixth type. Okay. We'll try. Come on. So the sixth type of beak is, here these birds are water birds. Water birds such as swans and ducks eat insects, worms and plants in the muddy water. They have broad and flat beak with tiny holes. What is the type of beak? Broad, flat with tiny holes. So last, sixth one is broad, flat with tiny holes. Okay. Now what are the birds? Which birds are having this? Water birds. Water birds like swan and ducks. So our example will be swan and duck. So what kind of food do they eat? They eat insects, plants from water, पानी में से, from water, not from land. Very little they will eat the leaves from the land. Mostly they feed on the insects or small tiny animals or plants that are on water. Sorry, I wrote land. From water. Okay. Now what does it help in? Listen the paragraph carefully. They have broad and flat beaks with tiny holes on both the sides of the beak. These birds, listen carefully, these birds fill their beak with muddy water. क्या करते हैं? फर्स्ट व्हेन दे आर ड्रिंकिंग, वो लोग अपने मुंह में पूरा पानी, जो भी पॉन्ड का या रिवर का पानी है, इट विल फिल, मुंह में भर लेते. दे फिल देयर माउथ विथ मडी वाटर. देन जैसा आप फॉर एग्जाम्पल आप चाय बना रहे, यू मस्ट हैव सीन हाउ द टी इज मेक. टी बनाने के बाद आपके पेरेंट्स क्या करते, टी को स्ट्रेनर में से स्ट्रेन करते, तो जो लिक्विड रहता वो तो कप में चले जाता, एंड जो टी डस्ट रहता, पत्ती जो बोलते, दैट विल बी इन द वो अंदर छन्नी में स्टीव में रह जाता. तो वैसे ही ये भी थोड़ा काइंड ऑफ छानते समझो. इट विल बी लाइक वो लोग पहले मुंह में पूरा लिक्विड पानी पकड़ लेते, फिर जो अपने जो होल्स है उसमें से पानी चले जाता बाहर, एंड जो फूड है, जो लीव्स है, वो मुंह में रह जाते हैं, दे विल ईट दैट. See, listen again. These birds fill their beak with muddy water. पहले पानी से भर लेते मुंह में. The water flows out of these holes. ये जो छोटे छोटे जो होल्स है उनके बीक के ऊपर, उसमें से पानी चले जाता है, लाइक छाने जैसा. इट विल come out of their holes and leaves behind the insects, worms and plants. और पीछे क्या रह जाता, जैसे आप छन्नी में से छाने तो पानी नीचे चले जाता और छन्नी में पत्ती रह जाती, वैसे ही when they are eating and taking the water in their mouth, पानी होल में से बाहर चले जाता और जो छोटे इंसेक्ट्स है या छोटे एनिमल्स है और लीव्स है, पत्ते है, worms है, ये सब उनके माउथ में रह जाते, which the birds eat. ये चीजों को birds खाते. Fine. So helping paragraph is little bit, function of that leaf is little bit bigger. Worms. Here I write, first they will fill their mouth, short points I'm writing because of lack of space, fill mouth with water, with muddy water, okay, then water is drained out, मतलब अलग से निकल जाता, is drained out from tiny holes. Tiny hole, water is drained out from the holes में से पानी निकल जाता और माउथ में क्या रह जाता, leaving behind worms or plants or insects, whatever, worms/plants. Fine. मुंह में वो लोग पानी पकड़ते, जो बीक पे होल्स है उसमें से पानी चले जाता और अंदर जो इंसेक्ट्स वॉर्म्स रहते हैं वो मुंह में रह जाते हैं, and they will eat it or swallow it. So I did not draw the beak, I'll draw it. First it is broad. यहाँ पे सब thin mostly. So broad will be something like this. Okay, broad. It will be flat also. So this is upper part. अगर आप नीचे से देखेंगे तो it will be something side से, I mean. अगर आप साइड से देखें तो the beak will be something like this. मैं ऊपर से बता रही हूँ, so because I want to show that it is broad. Okay, and on their beak they are having tiny holes on both the sides. Like this, 2 holes will be there on both the sides. See, ये ऊपर का हिस्सा है beak का, ऊपर का view I am showing because it is broad and having 2 tiny holes. And it is flat, मतलब बिल्कुल straight पतला flat रहता. This is the side view. I hope you are getting it. Okay. So last type is broad flat with tiny holes. These are mostly found in water birds. Water birds are also, many types of birds are also there. But especially for swan, duck, goose will have this kind of beak. Insects and plants from water, they will eat insects, plants and worms from water. पहले पानी भर लेते, then small holes में से पानी निकल जाता और उनके मुंह में रह जाता. The leaves and worms and insects are left in their mouth. I hope you got what I'm trying to say. Inshallah, I'll also try to send the picture of the reader page topic so that you can read on your own. Okay. So that's it. There are 6 types of beaks. Short, pointed and strong for peacocks and pigeons and sparrow. Short and curved, both the sides are curved, up and down like parrots. Strong, sharp and hooked beak, it will be like this to hold the prey. What is the prey? जो उसको hunt करके खा रहे. For eagle and owl, long, thin and pointed, something like a straw to drink the nectar of the flower. It is for hummingbird. Strong and pointed, it will be medium size, not very long, not very short, for woodpeckers to take out the insect or to peck the wood, to make holes in the wood. Last will be broad, flat and tiny. With tiny holes, it will be broad, it will be flat, and it will have 2 tiny holes to drain out water because they feed on the things they find in the water. So I hope you understood. I'll send a picture of the reader. Please read it. Thank you.